United Nations meet to disarm American citizens, population focused on ISIS murderer. While many people across our union are focused upon the murderous acts of a madman in Florida, CAIR has called for better gun control. Obama hints at it and NAACP touts almost identical wording located within the UNOTA/UNSAT documents. One does have to wonder, is there a much greater agenda at play? Mainstream media have consistently bombarded us with the ISIS mass murderer story, yet have failed to report on issues that affect the whole of the American people. Issues that would cause all of us to be unarmed, leaving us at the mercy of madmen and criminals. I am speaking about the unalienable rights you were born with, which were confirmed in the Second Amendment to the Bill of Rights. Your right to keep and bear arms is being attacked via agreements by an unelected body of individuals wishing to control and disarm we the people, leaving all of us helpless to defend ourselves, as was the case in Florida massacre. The United Nations held the 6th Biennial Meeting of States to consider the implementation of the Program of Action to Prevent, Combat and Eradicate the Illicit Trade in Small Arms and Light Weapons in all its aspects. This meeting was held June 6–10, 2016 in New York. Located in their draft outcome report are many disturbing findings. Document A/CONF.192/BMS/2016/WP.1/Revelation 2 of June 10, 2016 titled 6th Biennial Meeting of States to Consider the Implementation of the Program of Action to Prevent, Combat and Eradicate the Illicit Trade in Small Arms and Light Weapons in all its aspects states the following. 3 states reaffirmed their respect for and commitment to their obligations under international law and the purposes and principles enshrined in the Charter of the United Nations, as well as those set out in the Program of Action, including its 8th to 11th preambular paragraphs. 5 states welcomed the progress made in implementing the Program of Action and the international tracing instruments since their adoption, including on the establishment, strengthening and enforcement of national laws, regulations, and administrative procedures to prevent the illicit trade and illegal manufacture of small arms and light weapons, the development of national action plans, the establishment of national points of contact, the submission of voluntary national reports and the strengthening of subregional and regional cooperation. They also welcomed progress made in implementing stockpile management and security, the collection and destruction of illicit small arms and light weapons, the marking of small arms and light weapons, technical training and information sharing. 8 states reiterated the importance of national laws, regulations, and administrative procedures, interagency coordination, and, where they exist, national action plans to the full and effective implementation of the POA. 18 states noted the opportunities new technologies, when available, can offer for enhanced small arms and light weapons stockpile management and security, including through improved marking and record keeping, and for the destruction of surplus small arms and light weapons that they have designated for destruction. 23 states welcomed the adoption of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, including Sustainable Development Goal, SDG, 16. 24 states acknowledged, in line with the 2030 Agenda, that sustainable development cannot be realized without peace and security and that peace and security will be at risk without sustainable development. 25 states noted that the illicit trade in small arms and light weapons has implications for the realization of several SDGs, including those relating to peace, justice, and strong institutions, poverty reduction, economic growth, health, gender equality, and safe cities and communities. 26 states underlined the importance of the full and effective implementation of the POA and ITI for attaining SDG 16 and SDG Target 16.4. 31 to ensure that destroyed and deactivated small arms and light weapons are rendered permanently inoperable such that illicit reactivation is physically impossible, and recognizing the value of relevant best practices in this regard. 35 to coordinate, as appropriate, national-level implementation of the POA with relevant sub-regional, regional, and international instruments, and with related issues and processes, including disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration, border controls, organized crime, terrorism, urban crime, relevant UN resolutions, and related capacity-building initiatives. 36 To take into account complementarities between the POA and relevant sub-regional, regional, and global instruments in which member states participate in order to enhance, as appropriate, national-level coordination on the implementation of the POA. 37 To share best practices in physical stockpile management and security, as well as permanent weapons reactivation, in order to prevent the diversion of small arms and light weapons to illicit markets, illegal armed groups, terrorists, and other unauthorized emphasis mine recipients, including in conflict and post-conflict situations. 38 To continually assess national stockpiles for surpluses and to responsibly dispose, preferably through destruction, of small arms and light weapons that no longer meet operational needs. Politicians such as Obama, Hillary Clinton, and certain factions of mainstream media have tried to gloss over the true nature of the UNSATT for years. The American people have been told the UNSAT has nothing to do with disarming the people, nor the eradication of an individual's right to bear arms. These statements have proven to be false, and misleading time and time again by the United Nations' own documentation. See previous articles covered here. Located within the United Nations International Small Arms Control Standard I-603.30 version 1.0, dated June 11, 2015, titled National Regulation of Civilian Access to Small Arms and Light Weapons Section 6 states. 6. Regulating types and characteristics of small arms. 6.1 Prohibitions. 6.1.1 General. National law shall prohibit civilians from acquiring, owning, or possessing a. Light weapons, b. Automatic small arms, and c. Armor-piercing ammunition. The United Nations openly shows within their own reports they must be successful in disarming the population as a whole in order to establish their UN Agenda 21 aka, UN 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda. The people of America must unify together in a joint effort across our union to stop these unelected bodies from destroying our individual unalienable right to self-defense before it becomes too late. Contact your representatives, your local sheriffs, share this information with everyone. We must start visiting our sheriffs and find out where they stand on protecting our unalienable rights. If they are unaware of their authority, be active and help educate them. CSBOA.org has a wealth of resources for sheriffs and police officers. Let your sheriffs know you are holding them to the oath they took before taking their position, and you will make sure if they violate their oath they will be held accountable. Acting under color of law is no excuse. 18 U.S. Code 241 states, if two or more persons conspire to injure, oppress, threaten, or intimidate any person in any state, territory, commonwealth, possession, or district in the free exercise or enjoyment of any right or privilege secured to him by the Constitution or laws of the United States, or because of his having so exercised the same, or if two or more persons go in disguise on the highway, or on the premises of another, with intent to prevent or hinder his free exercise or enjoyment of any right or privilege so secured, they shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years, or both, and if death results from the acts committed in violation of this section or if such acts include kidnapping or an attempt to kidnap, aggravated sexual abuse or an attempt to commit aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to kill, they shall be fined under this title or imprisoned for any term of years or for life, or both, or may be sentenced to death. 18 U.S. Code 242 states, whoever, under color of any law, statute, ordinance, regulation, or custom, willfully subjects any person in any state, territory, commonwealth, possession, or district to the deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities secured or protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States, or to different punishments, pains, or penalties, on account of such person being an alien, or by reason of his color, or race, than are prescribed for the punishment of citizens, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 1 year, or both, and if bodily injury results from the acts committed in violation of this section or if such acts include the use, attempted use, or threatened use of a dangerous weapon, explosives, or fire, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years, or both, and if death results from the acts committed in violation of this section, or if such acts include kidnapping or an attempt to kidnap, aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to commit aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to kill, shall be fined under this title, or imprisoned for any term of years or for life, or both, or may be sentenced to death. As Sheriff Richard Mack stated in his book, The County Sheriff: America's Last Hope. As Thomas Jefferson opined, when all government shall be drawn to Washington as the center of all power, it will render powerless the checks provided and will become as venal and oppressive as the government from which we separated. The county sheriff is our nation's last line of defense, for the preservation and return to fundamental and individual liberty. The bottom line: America was founded as a constitutional republic, a representative form of government with extremely limited powers, confined within the parameters as expressly set forth by the supreme law of the land, the Constitution itself. In order for the founders to perpetuate the principles of the Constitution, they secured a proviso in Art. 6 paragraph 3, which states very clearly, all executive and judicial officers, both of the United States and of the several states, shall be bound by oath or affirmation to support this Constitution. Therefore, what is our supreme duty and responsibility? That's right. To protect and defend the U.S. Constitution. There is nothing we could do that could come even close to justifying any peace officer in this country failing to keep his oath of office. Now more than ever, our people need to arm themselves, train, and be prepared to defend the innocent from terrorists and criminals. Police are unable to protect you when every second counts, as proven in this massacre. It is your duty and your right to protect yourselves. You, not the police, are and always have been the first responders. By working together, we can defeat this tyranny. Now and not tomorrow we must stand up, stand strong, stand united, and say no more to their gun-grabbing agenda. Semper Fidelis. Stay paranoid, my friends.